Okay, before we get into today's episode, I need to tell you something. I was on a call with my business advisor, Peter. She runs Professional Babe. She's an absolute legend and gun at business and strategy. And we were doing my 2026 planning. So, just figuring out what's next for Right Mode, where I want to take the business in the next 12 months. And she's like, what are your numbers for the last 12 months? Open up Xero and realize I am on track for a 6-figure year, which is wild and so amazing. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Whether you've come to a workshop, have worked with me in consulting, you listen to the podcast, you share some of my stuff on social media, like that all helps me so much and is a way of supporting my business. And I just want to say thank you so much for that. And yeah, it's just pretty wild to me because at the start of the year, I didn't really have a detailed plan of where I wanted to take this business. I didn't have it all figured out. I just really made a commitment to show up. I knew I wanted to run AI workshops. And I knew I wanted to build something in this space, but I didn't exactly know how. And I was really nervous, to be honest with you. I was like, there's already people doing this. Who am I? Which I've touched on in another episode. But I just started and kept showing up. And it has just snowballed. I feel like it's really building now. And I'm really excited for what 2026 is going to bring. In that same week, I was presenting in Sabrina Ramonov's Women Build AI community, which was incredible. And she also asked me to be on her podcast. Now, if you don't know Sabrina, she's amazing. She's one of the biggest AI educators in the world. She has over 6,600 followers on TikTok alone and more than 1 million across platforms. So she was named on Forbes 30 under 30. She sold an AI startup for over $10 million, back about 10 years ago, I think. And her whole mission is teaching 10 million people AI for free. And yeah, I'm going to be on her podcast, which is wild. Duncan Rogoff shared in his community that my newsletter is one of his favorite AI newsletters. If you don't know who Duncan is, he's awesome. I'm a part of his community. He's got over 25,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's ex-Apple, ex-PlayStation, and he runs one of the biggest AI communities out there. Yeah. And so he just drops that in his community today, which is amazing. And I am just so stoked. Now, I'm not telling you this to be like, look at me. I'm telling you this because a year ago, none of this existed. I was still figuring out what AI even meant for my business. And the difference between then and now isn't that I worked harder, it's that I got strategic. So I stopped dabbling and started building. I figured out where AI actually fit into my business, not just as a fun tool, but as a system. And that's what this episode is about. Because I know a lot of you are where I was 12 months ago. You're using AI. You're not a total beginner, but you're probably stuck in what I call chat mode, which is copying and pasting, manually doing a lot of things and knowing that there's more, but you're just not sure how to get there. So today I'm going to give you the free version of my 90-minute strategy consult. So this is the exact framework that I use with founders so that you can go into 2026 with an actual plan, not just a vague intention to use AI better or use AI more. So let's talk about where you probably are right now. You're using ChatGPT. Maybe you've got Claude open too. You probably have 1 or 2 subscriptions. You've had that moment where it wrote something and you thought oh, holy shit, this is good, but you're still just chatting. So you're copying and pasting between AI and your actual tools. There's probably no real workflow. You're manually doing the thing, asking AI to help, then manually doing the next thing. Somehow AI is probably adding time to your day instead of saving it. And here's how I know when you're stuck in chat mode. 1, you're still copying and pasting between AI and your actual business tools. So there's no flow. It's all just like manual, and it's very reactive. Number two, you have multiple GPTs or Claude projects set up, but you're not actually sure which ones to use and for what, or, what is the purpose of having different ones. You might have like a few for content and that's about it. Three, AI could save you time, but somehow it's just not. It feels like another thing on your plate instead of something that lifts the load. So what I want you to know is being in chat mode isn't failure. It's a stage, and this is where everyone starts, okay? But if you've been here for 6 months and you're still doing the same manual shuffle and you're feeling a bit confused, that's not learning anymore. You're stuck in a loop. So the goal isn't to use more AI tools, it's to get AI embedded into your workflows you're already running so that the work gets done without you, and so you're not the bottleneck. And that's what I help finders figure out, because a lot of this stuff can get to a point and then you review it. That's your job as the founder. I didn't just pull this framework out of thin air. I have lived this and developed it. So at the start of this year, I was exactly where you are. I had random GPTs. I was using AI for content, captions, posts, brainstorming, strategy. And that was fine. Like, it was helpful, but content is just the tip of the iceberg. What changed for me was realizing AI could do so much more than help me write. It could help run my business. So now my membership backend is automated. So when I do a workshop, the replay gets uploaded automatically. It drops like notes in there, and then it pings the members in Slack to let them know that that's up and they can go and view it. I've got automations handling my admin stuff that I used to spend hours on. I've created amazing AI lead magnets, and I've built things with code, like actual code. And I do not write code. I just know how to work with AI to make that happen. So the shift wasn't working harder or adding more tools. It was getting strategic about where AI fits, what my goals were, and how I was going to use AI and automations to get there, not just for content, but for operations too. So this is the stuff that used to drain my time and energy. And I always look at opportunities. Like, if there is something that I don't enjoy doing, I'm like, can we automate this? Like, or at least get it to 80% done, and then I can pick up the rest. So that's what took me from like playing with AI to running a 6-figure business with AI embedded into everything that I do. And it all comes back to a framework I now use with every founder that I work with. In every consult I do, we work through something I call the stack method. It's 5 steps. They're the difference between AI chaos and confusion and AI that actually works for your business. So number 1, S is for strategy. So this is where we start, not the tools, not what can AI do. This is where we look at like, okay, what are you trying to achieve? Like, what are your business goals? Because I can't tell you how many founders have come to me wanting to use AI better, but when I ask what they're trying to build toward, it's really vague. It might be like grow, get more clients, save time, be more efficient. AI isn't a strategy on itself, it's an accelerant. So if you don't know where you're going, AI just helps you to get nowhere faster, and it is very good at keeping you in that chat loop. So that's why you've got to get really clear on this before we start getting it into your workflows. So before you touch a single tool, you have to get clear on what your actual business goal is for 2026, not 5 goals. I want you to focus on 1. What's the thing next year you want AI to support? And that could be content. So if you do want to show up more on socials, get AI to help you script stuff. Get it to run automations that analyze your content and give you feedback on how you can improve it. I've got those running now. My goal for 2026 is to crack YouTube. I'm getting like 20K views a week on YouTube, and like I am just posting natively to TikTok. It's going out to YouTube Shorts. I do put my podcasts up on YouTube. So I'm getting a lot of traction there, and I'm doubling down on that in 2026. And AI and automations are absolutely going to help me there. So then we move on to T, which is tools. So once we know that goal, we look at what you're actually working with. So what tools are you using? Where does your IP live? Is it accessible to AI? Is your data ready to hand off to AI and automations? Or is it trapped in your head? 18 Google Docs you haven't opened since 2023. And this is where a lot of founders go quiet, because the answer usually is like, oh, my frameworks, my voice, my way of doing things, none of it's written down anywhere. I just know how to do it. And that's a problem, because we need data in a really nice format for AI and automations to handle for us. So that's probably why your AI outputs are sounding generic. And it's also why you haven't been able to kind of fit it into your workflows. You're copying and pasting and not actually, setting something up and it does that 80% for you, because you haven't sorted those workflows yet. I had a client who came to a consult. She's a mortgage broker who wasn't even on paid ChatGPT. So she didn't know where to start, and she was really worried about compliance. So part of our session was just getting the foundations right. So the right tools set up properly. And sometimes that's the whole unlock. So what I want you to do is pick one piece of your IP, so a framework, a process, a way you explain something, and put that into a custom GPT or Claude project. So start there. Start thinking about using these tools in your workflows. Custom GPTs, or actually I was going to say Claude projects, but you can't share them. Custom GPTs make really good lead magnets too. If you put some of your IP, a framework, a process into a custom GPT, that's a really nice way for people to get a taste of who you are and how you work. All right, so actions and AI. So this is where we get tactical. So this is where we start to look at those workflows in action. And we want to think here, not about all of them, but just one. Because if you try and automate everything at once, it is overwhelming, and that is where everyone fails. So one client came to me saying she didn't know how AI fit into her workflow. So what we did was we mapped out what she was actually doing, and turns out she had like 3 repeatable processes she hadn't even noticed were repeatable. And once she saw them, she knew exactly which automations to build. And because she'd done my AI Dream Team workshop, she went and built them herself. Another client I've worked with used her session to map out an idea she's been sitting on, which was an app for her clients to use while working with her. So she left with a really clear strategy and then went off and built that in Lovable. And she's not a developer, but she knew what she was building and why. And then I recommended, Lovable is a really great no-code tool. So she was able to run with that. So the power move here is going into 2026 with one workflow actually running, not a list of intentions. I want you to really just focus on getting your confidence up with one workflow. Okay, now next is C for checkpoints, and this is the one everyone skips, and that's why their AI systems fall apart. So checkpoints means you're building in moments to ask, is this actually working? Is it saving time, or is it creating busy work? Does the output still sound like me? Do we need to update the system instructions? Is my team actually using this? AI isn't set and forget as much as we wish it was. As your business and processes evolve, or maybe something's a little bit off, we need to give it that feedback. So this is something that a lot of people miss is, say, we'll use content as an example. Say you have taken you're using chat for a caption. You've taken it out, you've edited it, and then, posted that. If you don't close that feedback loop, chat just assumes you've taken that content, it was good to go, and it will repeat that. So you always want to close that feedback loop. So you can do that by voice noting into it and say, hey, this isn't right. Or you could, once you've edited it, drop the final version back into chat and say, hey, just an FYI, here's what I've changed, and it will learn that. If you've got a custom GPT, so it doesn't have that lasting memory, that's where you could say, like, what do I need to adjust in my system prompt for it to sound more aligned with what I have edited? And then you can jump in the back end and pop that into your system prompt. As your business evolves and your offers change, you need to check in and just make sure that this stuff is still fit for purpose. Otherwise, you'll end up with a system that doesn't fit you anymore. And again, that's why AI and automation projects fail. You could put a recurring reminder in your calendar once a month to review your AI tools, what's working, what's collecting dust, and what needs updating. Some of this stuff really doesn't take long, and you'll notice that the impact is a lot greater if you start doing that. Finally, K, keep iterating. This isn't set up once and done, like I said in checkpoints. So the founders who get the most out of AI, they're the ones who are tinkering and iterating and adjusting. I don't mean chatting back and forth in ChatGPT, okay? That is productive procrastination. But what you are doing is adjusting. You're treating AI like a team member who needs feedback, not a tool they installed and forgot about. So your AI systems should grow with you. That's the goal, not perfection, integration into your workflows. This does take iteration. Also, don't forget, if something has gotten you 80% of the way and you still have to edit that, that is still an improvement. Do not forget what it was like pre-AI. I do see that a lot. You need to kind of keep that perspective. Okay, yeah, I do have to edit this, but I've got a really good first draft. So that's the stack: strategy, tools, actions, and AI, checkpoints, keep iterating. And it's what I walk every founder through in my sessions. So you can take this now and run with it. Now, I want to be really clear about something, and I'm not here to tell you you're going to be left behind like all those tech bros if you don't figure this out, because I hate that energy. But here is what I do believe is true. The expectation has shifted. Using AI well was a competitive advantage. It made you stand out. Now, that is becoming the baseline. Everyone's using AI. Your competitors are using it, your clients are using it, and they expect you to use it too, but well. So the question isn't whether you'll use AI in 2026, it's whether you'll use it strategically or keep doing that copy-paste shuffle that we talked about while everyone else is building actual AI systems and developing a really solid AI strategy. So we are looking in 2026 at AI augmented work. So this is where AI handles the repeatable stuff so you can focus on the high value thinking. That's not future talk anymore. That's what's expected. So this isn't about catching up. It's about deciding, like, do you want to spend another year just chatting with AI, or do you want to build something that actually runs and these things can hum and get you 80% of the way there, and then you or your team are like editing, molding, reviewing that AI work like it is a team member. Okay, so that was a lot. I've just given you the full framework I use in every strategy session. And if you're the kind of founder who heard that and thought, cool, I know what to do now, go do it. Genuinely, I love that for you. But if you heard this and thought, okay, but how do I actually figure out this for my business? How do I not waste another 6 months chatting instead of building? That's what this consult session that I run is for. So I've actually got 3 90-minute strategy sessions available before the end of the year. I have decided to open up. I normally only do about like 5 of these a month, but I've opened up a few extra spots to make sure that people can get their AI strategy sorted, so that after you've had your nice holiday break, you can come back and start implementing this. So these aren't coaching calls. It is like helping you get really clear on your goals, how you're currently using AI, and like how can we get you using it really, really well to leverage it in your business. And, we look at your workflows and your situation using the stack method. And then you'll leave with a clear plan and a roadmap for 2026. And, this is the difference between going into next year with some vague intention to like use AI better versus going in with an actual strategy that you feel really confident and happy about. So I'll drop the link to that in the show notes. If it's sold out by the time you listen to this, jump on my email list because I'll open some more in the new year. But if you want to start 2026 with this sorted, grab a spot now. All right. We're doing the AI confession booth again this week. I feel like I'll just do these as they come to me. So this week, I confess I've genuinely lost count of how many custom GPTs I've built. I went in to check and the scroll just kept going. So do what I say, not what I do. The irony of telling you to simplify while I hoard GPTs is not lost on me. Do as I say, not as my sidebar suggests. I will be refining and cleaning some of those out, hopefully, in the holiday break. Before I let you go, I'm also giving you not another to-do for this week. I'm not going to give you like a 78-step implementation plan. Just focus on one thing. So get a piece of paper or on your notes app, I don't care. Write down your goals for 2026. Not your AI goals, your actual business goals. Then ask yourself, how could AI and automation support that? That's where I want you to start. Not what cool AI tool should I try? Am I missing out by not signing up to this AI tool? Don't focus on what everyone else is doing. Just what do you want to achieve? And then where could AI help me get there faster? That's it. That's your strategy step. And honestly, if you do nothing else from this episode, just do that, because that one question is the difference between another year of dabbling and actually building something that works. All right, that's it for today. If this hits, please send this to a founder who's still stuck in chat mode or anyone that you think would get value out of this. Make sure you hit subscribe, and I would also love a rating. As I said at the start, if you haven't worked with me, but you support my work by subscribing or sharing my content, that helps me so much. So please do that. And as I said, if you want to book in a consult, I will drop the link below. We can get your AI sorted before 2026. All right, I will see you on the next episode.